I'm Dc Angelo from Christ the King parish. Welcome to today's daily reflections. Today we continue our reflection on the Sermon on the Mount on Matthew chapter 5. Jesus continues to teach us how to live a Christian life in light of the fulfillment of the law that he taught us. In this passage, Jesus tells us that the new commandment is to go beyond the conformity of ethical righteousness and to expand our way of living into loving one another. I tell you, unless your righteousness surpass that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. With these words, Jesus tells us that this is what we need to do to inherit heaven. What does this new way of living look like? St. Paul tells us in today's second letter to the Corinthians 3:17 that when we live in the Spirit of Christ, we will experience freedom. Paul says, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom." It is a freedom that we attain to love God and to be loved by God, to freely choose God and to love one another. By living in the Spirit of Christ, you will be transformed. Here are a few examples of what that looks like. From being obsessed and anxious to being accepting and serene. From having strong defenses to having necessary defenses and being vulnerable. From dealing with people to relating with people. From having inordinate desires to having true longing for God. From an emphasis on pleasure to an emphasis on true joy. From living out of the false self to living out of the true self. Visit with Jesus today and ask Him to experience the grace of living in the Spirit. You can use the chart at the end of the link provided below. Let us pray for one another, and may the Almighty God bless us and our families.